National Rescue Consultants presents Train to Live podcast with Herb Tyler, Greg Rogers, and Rob Ramirez. Talking all things fire and technical rescue. So pour a drink and enjoy the show.
What's up, fellas?
Good evening, fellas.
What's going on, boys? Excuse me.
Hey, feel like I just saw you earlier today, Rob.
You actually did, Herbert. It was a good time.
I feel like I haven't seen you guys in months.
No,
Been
shame
nice.
on you. Hey, I cannot say enough about tonight, man. Tonight's going to be a great night. It's going to be fun. We got some heavy hitters that are on the podcast. It's going to be a good time.
I'm excited. It's going to be a good group of guys. It's going to be a first of its kind event for us on the podcast. We're going to actually have a roundtable. We're bringing guys from all over the country. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to spit some stuff out there and have these guys jump in, lend us their expertise, tell us their experience. They're all from different parts of the country. We got guys from Ohio, Georgia, Texas, Florida, all over. It's going to be a real cool event. So let's. I'm ready to get it started.
So myself and Rob had the opportunity to meet these guys at the Bearers of the Oath conference. And these guys were just eager, and they were the firemen through and through. So when we came back, we got with Greg, we're sitting there talking, and the one thing we said, we're like, you know what? We need to do a roundtable with the heavy hitters in the game. And these guys were just, those are the guys that we wanted to talk about. So we're going to bring them on one by one. We're not going to go through their whole bio. We're going to sit there and we're going to let them kind of talk about themselves for real quick. And then we're going to keep bringing everyone in. So without further ado, Rob, do the introductions, buddy.
Right on. So I'm going to have the honor of bringing these gentlemen into the show this evening. We got guys from all over. With us first, we have Chief Jacob Johnson, 20-year veteran of the job. He started his fire department career with the Katy Volunteer Fire Department at the age of 15. He's now a chief officer with the Pearland Fire Department in Texas. He is best known for "Do Your Damn Job." He's one of his favorite quotes. Every kid is owed an opportunity to have a love affair with the job. He's a father and a husband to a beautiful wife and kids. He's a wealth of knowledge. We had some time to spend with him over at Bearers of the Oath in Georgia last month, and immediately fell in love with the guy. He's passionate, like-minded, and just like everyone else on tonight's podcast, it's going to be a great time just picking his brain and getting information from him. So without further ado, let's bring in Chief Jacob Johnson from Texas.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up,
How's it
Chief?
going,
How are you?
Jacob?
Good. How are y'all?
Excellent. Glad to have you on, brother.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I don't even know how I got this invite to be around here with all you.
Man,
Please, man. Honors all.
Hey, Herb, you said bottom of the barrel, right? Is that how he got the invite? Is that what it was? Not him? All right, sorry.
Yeah.
Scratch that. Delete that last.
It's the other guy.
Hey, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, son.
Right
Man,
on. Great to have you on here.
Thank you.
we myself, Rob, and Rob Ortega and Timmy Gleason, we had the opportunity to sit down and talk to you on I think it was day 3. And you were just dropping truth bombs on us, man, and it was awesome, man. So it was truly a pleasure to be around people that are like-minded. So we appreciate you taking time out of your day with your family and everything. I know it's Easter weekend, so we appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate the opportunity, Herbie and Greg and Rob. I mean, meeting y'all was life-changing for me. It showed me that there's a lot more good people out there and a lot of like-minded people out there that want to make the job better. And I'm grateful for every opportunity that comes my way, man. So I thank y'all for tonight.
I appreciate it, brother.
Likewise. Next guy, my brother from another mother, Bassel Ibrahim. Bassel's from the city of Orlando Fire Department. He's a lieutenant on the job, 17-year student of the game. I've had the opportunity to teach classes for a couple of years now with Bassel. We share different programs at conferences, whether it's firefighter, survival, and RIT. He's a subject matter expert, humble, great dude. Can't say enough good things about him. I consider him a brother and a friend, and I'm excited as shit to have him on the show. So without further ado, Lieutenant Bassel. And I'm not going to try to slaughter your last name again, brother. Welcome to the show.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, so give us a little recap about yourself, man.
Well, I'm trying to have a man mustache like Greg, but it's slowly coming on. I'm breaking my department policies right now. So
That's a nice starter kit though, but you'll get there.
it is. No, guys, but all serious note here, man. I'm really honored to be on this podcast with you guys. I'm excited to share some stories and shoot the shit with everybody. It's gonna be as real as it gets here, man. No bullshit. Just true fireman talk and sharing some stories and a lot of learning. I got a notepad out here. I'm going to be taking notes and passing some stuff on. There you go. Passing some stuff in with the guys back at the house. But no, man, I mean, I'm glad. I heard a lot about you guys. Obviously, NRC, Herbie, Greg. Everybody knows Rob, beautiful hair over there. But it was awesome getting to meet you guys and actually teach with you guys at the Bearers of the Oath conference, and I'm just glad to be here, man. Let's get this started. Enough about me. Let's move on and start talking.
Who's the next guy? Oh, Biscuit. All right. Justin, the next guy on the podcast, another stud, absolute stud. Had a great time with him up in Georgia. He right off the bat, we freaking hit it off. He's one of us. He's branched off the same tree. Like-minded brother, passionate, good at his job, excellent instructor. 22 years of service out of Texas. Operates out of the fire department in the city of Colony, and lead instructor at fire colleges and a smoke diver as well in the state of Georgia. And his spare time, he loves doing what we do. He likes doing hood rat stuff with his friends, which mostly includes fire service activities. So without further ado, our brother from another mother, Justin Fraize. Welcome, Fraize.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
All right, man. Welcome.
Man, dude, thank y'all again for having me on here. I'm still just love hanging out with hood rats, man, doing hood rat shit. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Get after it.
Let's go.
What hey, so real quick, take a few seconds to tell the audience about yourself real quick, buddy.
Justin Fraize, apparatus operator in Colony, Texas. Man, I pretty much got it. 22 years in the fire service. Just love it, man. Got to meet all y'all, the Bearers of the Oath. Dude, y'all, what y'all are doing was just legit. And I kind of got to weasel my way over there. And hey, man, those guys over there need some help. Can I come do hood rat stuff with them? And man, dude, just had a blast meeting y'all. Again, I still trying to figure out how I got to be so blessed to be here. So thank y'all again for having me on.
No problem, brother, man. It was a pleasure, man. All the guys that are on the screen right now, man, the moment we all met, it was like, damn.
Yeah.
Yep.
We all looked at each other like, hey, we're all cut from the same cloth. It just worked.
Love at first sight.
Love it.
Love at first sight.
So much bromance. There was a lot of awkward bro hugs, and there's more guys coming on that again, so many awkward bro hugs. I'm gonna make it super weird. Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah. See, we only think it's weird if you make it weird, and we're cool with it. So I don't think it's gonna be weird.
No, I think we're gonna be good.
Right,
Can you only imagine how weird it would have been if Greg would have been invited to come?
I know. I didn't know anything about what was going on. Everyone was just missing, and I saw a bunch of cool posts. So thanks, man. Hopefully I get there one day.
Greg,
I'll drive my own car. I'll drive my own car.
Dude, I just got pulled up to varsity. I've been rolling JV. I just got moved up to varsity. So yeah, I'm psyched to be here.
I'm still rolling JV.
All right. So without further ado, let's introduce Nick Peppard.
Here we go. Nick Peppard, had the opportunity to meet him at a couple fire conferences ago, sometime earlier this year. Immediately, again, like you said, cut from the same cloth. He does all types of fireman stuff. He has his own podcast. He's up in the Panhandle area. I let him talk about his fire department where he operates as a captain. He also runs the North Florida Fire Expo, a great conference. If you haven't had the opportunity to check it out, please get up there and do. He's involved in so many things. He's passionate about training and helping others get better. An absolute stud as well. And again, can't say enough about the guy. Bringing him on the show is something we've been wanting to do for a long time. This was a great opportunity to get him on here on a panel of like-minded brothers to address any audience questions, comments, concerns, and some cool shit that we talked about as a group to bring up during tonight's conference. I called it a conference. Might as well be podcast. So again, welcome to the show, Nick Peppard. Bring him on.
Yo,
Hey, what's up, guys? So
man.
happy to be here, man. This is it's like a little family reunion with a lot of cool ass dudes. So I'm excited to be here, man. Like Rob was saying, I'm kind of I love the job, man. I'm into it. Anything I can learn about the job, try to take it all in. Up here in a small suburban department, just east of Pensacola. I mean, we're not a big job by any means, but got a lot of passionate firemen that love to train, love to get after it. Very fortunate to be involved with some of the guys I've been involved with over the last few years. Sean Duffy and I have been doing the Make Do Suburban Fireman podcast for a few months now, and just doing fireman shit, man. Loving every bit of it. Going to conferences. Fortunate enough to meet a lot of you guys on the conference scene, and like I said, just happy to be here, guys.
appreciate it, brother.
Welcome. This absolute savage is Todd Shepherd out of the grand state of Ohio. They don't have college football teams for shit, but he's a nice guy. 17.
Hey, man.
It's all about the U, baby. We got robbed. Currently a 17-year member and a tillerman. What a cool job at his fire department in Central Ohio. Co-owner and operator of Fire Force, the best forcible entry prop door I've ever been around or worked with. I'm not even saying this shit because he's on the program. I kid you not. If you don't believe me, go out there and try it. It'll make you a believer. He's a state of Ohio fire instructor and a member of the USAR team up there, and now a good friend of the show, and looking forward to having him on. Thanks for coming on, Shep. Come on down.
What up, guys? OHIO.
OHIO, brother. How you doing?
OHO.
I'm humbled to be on here, man. I'm still JV trying to catch up with these guys.
Welcome, man. Glad to have you.
Dude, it's you made me a believer in the first 3 fucking minutes of you showing me your door. That is the best training door I've ever seen, hands down. In every conference I've been to, it is by far the most realistic, the most just badass fucking door that there is, hands down.
Thank you. Means a lot coming from guys like you, definitely. Guys, thanks for having me on. I'm humbled.
Well, you see them books behind them. That's why you can build a good door.
Yeah, I like to break a mental sweat. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Hey, I just want to know how many of those books he actually read.
0.
It's probably just the backs glued onto the wall, so he looks a lot smarter than he is. You know, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody back at home's laughing right now. Yeah.
Awesome. Is this the last guy, Herb?
This is the last guy.
Holy shit. I'm just kidding, man. This is great. I'm excited. On the show, we got Blake Stinnett. Blake works out of great state of Georgia, just north of Florida, for those of you guys that aren't good with geography. He's a firefighter paramedic on the squad. He's a firefighter medic on the squad. He's married to a beautiful bride, his 2 children. Blake is the founder and director of a nonprofit called The Next Rung. He tackles all types of taboo and mental health issues for firefighters and first responders. He talked to the kid. He's not a kid, and I'm sorry for saying that. You talk to the young man for 5 minutes, and you understand that he is absolutely on the right track. He's light years ahead of where we were at his age, and he's doing big things. He's impacting lives at many levels and doing things a lot of the guys that have been on the job for a long time need done. And I myself am a believer in it. I've used peer support, counseling, and therapy myself, and I've seen a lot of brothers and sisters go down roads that they shouldn't have gone down. Have we given them a soft place to land, and made it cool to talk about faith, family, service, and the mindset. So without further ado, Mr. Blake Stinnett, who's on duty and doing laps around the firehouse. What's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? How are y'all?
Good,
Right,
man.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Hey, so Blake, give us a little recap of what it is exactly that Next Rung does, what you stand for, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. Next Rung is a nonprofit. We tackle the mental health issues of firefighters and first responders. And we do that a few different ways. We offer a peer support line, and that's available 7 days a week. And everyone that serves on our team is an active duty firefighter and cross-trained in EMS, either an EMT or paramedic, so that they understand the job and can talk with these people who are calling in or texting in and carry on the conversations. On top of that, man, we help provide financial assistance for licensed counseling and do the same for inpatient facilities as well. So if they need to find a counselor, we can help send them to somewhere, in their immediate location, typically within 30 to 45 minutes of where they live, and get the help that they deserve on that aspect. And then the same thing for inpatient facility, whether that's addiction of any sort, or they just need to take like 30 to 45 days away and just kind of reset themselves mentally so that they can get a grasp on what's going on in life. Then we'll help with that as well. And then lastly, we donate back to families that we have heard of who have lost a firefighter, first responder to suicide. So if someone lets us know about it and they reach out to us, and we will send a care package to that family, a donation check as well, and just let them know that we're here for them.
Awesome.
Right. I can't say enough good things about what you're doing, man. It's huge. It's we need that in the fire service right now, and it's you're definitely doing it, man. It's huge.
I appreciate it, man. We're grabbing a call, man. I'll try and jump back in. Sorry.
Bye, Blake.
Right, and just like that, Blake gone.
He gone.
He gone.
So he comes on, gets a plug, and fakes a call.
Yeah.
Hey, varsity move.
That was
Hey,
Nonprofit my ass.
Bro, that guy can teach us a lot.
I think the
let's
players
put my
just
man
got
to cheers
played.
real quick because that was a varsity move right there.
Hey, here's all of us being played by him. I'll drink to that.
Yeah, nonprofit my ass.
Hey, when he was on, though, just to put everything in perspective, Herbie, if we were the Brady Bunch, you would be in Marsha's position. Just throwing it out there, bro. I don't mean anything by it. I'm just saying that's how that goes down.
That's amazing.
I don't even know what to say right now, dude. I'm letting it ride. Hey, so right now we have 1,900 people listening across all platforms, and everyone knows that we have a brother who went through some stuff, Matty Johnson, and he has some health issues. He's back on, and because of Matty Johnson, just so everyone knows a little backstory of it, Matty Johnson's the reason why National Rescue Consultants uses the phrase "train to live." Matty Johnson was one of the originators in National Rescue Consultants. Myself, Greg, and Matty Johnson were teaching an engine class in Fort Lauderdale Fire Expo when myself and Greg decided to start this up. And if you haven't had the opportunity to meet Matty Johnson, motherfucker is witty as it comes. And he comes up and he tells me and Greg, hey, you guys need a saying. You guys need a slogan. So looking at me and Greg, you guys can tell that we're done with shit. And Matty Johnson
appreciate that.
Matty goes, hey, look. He goes, you know what? It's train to live. And train to live since 2013 has been our motto. And that is all because of Matty Johnson. Matty Johnson is a word poet. And without further ado, I'm going to let Rob lead us in Maddie Johnson's full toast.
I'm going to do that in a second. I just want you guys to also know, and everyone listening, Maddie's had such an outpouring of love and support the last month plus since he had his medical issue. Something like I've never seen before in my career. Guys from all over the country in the Fools and conferences and you name it. Anybody that crossed path with our brother Maddie, he's an unforgettable cat. Anyhow, Maddie's listening. Maddie is being physically rehabbed, trying to get that freaking body and health back together so we can get our Maddie back. He sent me a picture, and I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen. He was okay with me showing it, but he went ahead and sent me this picture right now with a National Rescue Consultant. There it is. So for the guys watching at home, this is Maddie right now. He's looking great. Needs to work on that mustache, but he looks great. Hair looks good, Macho. He also went ahead and gave us his blessing to go ahead and share his toast tonight. So for our brother Maddie's battle, everything he's been through, the love and support he's received, I'm going to go ahead and raise a glass for you guys. And without any further ado, as soon as I bring it up on my phone so I don't mess it up, for you, Matthew. In the grips of death, we depend on our sisters and brothers. Through smoke and fire, we protect each other. Our calling is clear, we shall not wander. When protecting life is death before dishonor. So here and now, we raise a glass, a toast to the fallen heroes of the past. Tradition, brotherhood, and duty forever. For this could be our last drink together. Sante. For you, Matthew.
Oh, Maddie.
Love you, Machi.
Love you, brother.
Hey, so going back to that shield real quick. Those were our first original shields, and we numbered them, and there should only be 1 through 5 because we numbered like kind of the order of the guys that kind of started. Is that right, Herbie? They went through 5, 1 through 5?
1 through 5.
So that's cool to see that one again. I still have mine hanging up, but that's a cool old piece of NRC history there.
So
That's awesome.
before we
Can I add something? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to add something real quick before we move on and forget. The reason that all these characters got together, and I don't want it to be remiss, is because of the Bearers of the Oath and Shane Bentley, Lee, Corey. I'm not going to start naming all the names because I'm going to miss somebody. But everyone involved in the Bearers of the Oath in Georgia, getting all of us together, having the foresight to know that we were all going to hit it off when we got there. I walked in the door. I didn't know all these guys. I walked out with family and brothers, and here we are a couple weeks later. So Shane, the guys from Georgia, they're doing big things. They're leading the fire service in their region in the right direction, humble as they come, dedicated as they come, passionate as they come. And I want to thank them personally on behalf of NRC and all of us, Herbie and Greg. Thank you for getting us all together and giving us this opportunity to meet.
100%. It's
Thanks,
so it's not really I mean it is now, it's public knowledge. I wasn't going to go to the Bearers of the Oath conference. I got some information about my sister. Because of my sister Tanya, I'm in the fire service. I am where I am, and it's because of her. So I had some bad news. I met Chief Jacobs, and we hit it off with all of us, and so it kind of just happened. He found out about my sister. So my sister's name is Tanya. She's going through stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So when everything happened, so for anyone that's listening and you feel like you work in a small department, you work at whatever, there is no brotherhood. I'm gonna tell you, you're full of shit. The brotherhood is real. All these guys I just met literally for 3 days. They found out about my sister. They took something and ran with it. So they created Tanya's Warriors. And Chief Jacobs made a helmet shield. Shane Bentley made a shirt for my sister. So that being said, man, I cannot say enough. It means more than anything for my family, for everything that you guys have done. They did Taylor's 10s, fucking went out of his way, created a 10 for my sister. Shane Bentley went out of his way, created a shirt for with First Do Screen Printing out of Florida. So if you guys don't mind, let's raise a glass for my sister, for Tanya. You're gonna beat cancer. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Man.
Word.
Do it. I'm forever indebted to you, boy.
Awesome.
All right. So now,
Get it.
all
Let's
of us,
do it.
let's do it. So let's start with Chief.
What's up?
So your big push is motivation and getting fucking people to do their job.
That's it.
And when you talk about that, what are some of the obstacles that you find that are getting the younger generation motivated in today's fire service?
So, I mean, straight up, a lot of people are going to be mad about this, but the problem is us, right? I feel that the older guys on the job, they're accepting mediocrity and they're accepting, hey, that's good enough. And they're accepting the fact that they don't want to train. And I see it more and more and more where these senior men or senior women, they want to sit here and say, hey, that dude or that girl is stupid. That rookie's stupid. They're not worth my time. They're not getting the job. And they're just pretty much pushing them to the curb. And what we need to remember, right, is that, you know, us as senior men, senior women, us as crews, officers, drivers, the success of that person is dependent on us. The success of that person is dependent on the training that they receive at the firehouse, the training that they receive every single day that they walk in. And if we're not going to sit here and do our job and train those who depend on us, you might as well hit the curb, because I'm not interested. I mean, I came in to a fire department and I was dumb, right? We talked about it, Bears of the Oath. Fire school is the minimum standard. Minimum standards get you killed. Minimum standards get you nowhere. Minimum standards make you a minimum firefighter. Ridiculous, right? So think about the military. Military goes to boot camp to get the minimum standards. Then they go to MOS to learn their specialty, to be mentored in their specialty, to be taught their specialty, right? They're taught by senior members of the military. Why the hell aren't we doing that? Why are we saying like, well, you're not worth my time? Or why are we training them to the bare minimum of our probationary phase just to say, oh, you're good enough? No, the hell with that, right? So when I came into the job, I was dumb. I was out of fire school. I had nothing. I had book knowledge, right? It's right there on that shelf. 485 pages of knowledge, right? Well, these rookies are coming out of fire school today with over 1,200 pages of knowledge. They already know more than you on the base level. But what they don't have is your experience. What they don't have is your street knowledge. What they don't have is, when this shit goes bad, here's what you do. And that's what you have to teach them. That's what you have to teach them. Think about this, right? Sean and Pablo, they talk about it all the time. When you're removing victims from a building in fire school, you're doing it with stiff-ass dummies, full of beads or full of sand, right? They don't move. But then when you talk about real live victims, that's a whole different subject. So we have to teach these little things, and we have to do our job and mentoring them. When I came out of fire school, I had a 62-year-old captain. That was my first captain. And he told me, you're going to love this job because I'm going to make you love this job. And when I get done with you and I pour everything I have into you, if you don't love this job, then you might as well leave it. And so that's what we got to do. We have to get out there. We have to hit the ground floor, and we got to train these young men and women and get them fired up about the fire service and make them love the job.
Hey, Chief, too, the minimum standards too, that doesn't stop at the firefighter too. This is one of my biggest gripes is that minimum standards carries to driver, carries to lieutenant, captain, battalion.
Absolutely.
Because I think as they go up, they're like, oh, I know enough. I'm good. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of stuff. We have this talk all the time about you got to keep pushing forward. And when it's great, you got to make it even better.
That's right. Absolutely. Think about this, right? So, and I said this at Bears of the Oath. I've said it on a lot of other things. Put yourself in the mindset as a battalion chief, right? And you're 4 minutes into shift and you make a working fire and your rookie dies. Do you want to tell their family that you were busting their balls and picking on them for the ice cream they brought to the fire station? Or do you want to tell their family they were checking out the truck and you were teaching them how to check their air pack and you were working? Right? I mean, that solves it right there. So you're either going to put everything you have into that kid or you're not going to put anything. And if you don't want to put anything, then I don't need you in my fire department. It's real simple.
Amen.
You either immerse yourself in your rookies or you don't. And if you don't want to, then get going.
Yep,
100%.
good stuff.
So
100%.
Hey, Blake's back. Hey, Blake, did you save that cat in the tree or what happened, man? That was a quick run.
No rides.
We got canceled, man.
Refusals.
Beautiful.
hey, Basil, you got anything to add to that?
In regards to the motivating and mentoring the young there, I truly believe that you need to get buy-in from them. And how do you get buy-in is by giving them ownership of something, whether they're brand new on the job or they got a bunch of time on the job. They got the way for them to get full buy-in is by gaining ownership over the project that you give them, and then having pride. That's how you motivate people. And by delegating a task and giving them the opportunity to prove themselves, and they're getting that ownership, and that's rewarding. Whether they successfully achieve that goal or not, you can see them putting in the work and then working towards that goal. And then you can mentor them and teach them along the way. But that, in my opinion, that's what mentorship is. You got to make the guys buy in by getting ownership. And that creates pride. A lot of people are losing in the fire service. They're losing that pride, which is an essential portion of the job there. And not just at the company level, boots on the ground, but a lot of chiefs out there, they're forgetting the pride, the traditions that come with this fire service. And pride is free. It's free. It doesn't cost any money. All right. If you have pride increases morale. Morale increases productivity. Productivity increases success. And then after that, everything fucking goes good. And it's free. So why are we preventing that? I don't get it. I don't get it. If the guys want to wear a special logo or a special patch on their shirt or on their rig or whatever the case may be, then freaking let them have it, as long as obviously it doesn't have the flipping the bird or a naked chick on there. You know what I mean? But
That's right. That's right. Well, and Justin can speak to this, because in the colony, they labeled a squad 18 in the memory of Andy Fredericks. And then they have a mud flap that says, "We will come for them." Right. Yes. So what is that? $1,000 that boosts morale, 2,000%. Completely worth it. Absolutely. Completely worth it.
Absolutely. And then I truly believe also to get buy-in and then to create that motivation, the leaders have to lead by example. You can't just be out there and then preaching and talking the talk without walking the walk. At least I think that the rookies, they may be rookies in the fire service, but they're still adults and humans, and they will see right through your bullshit. So in my opinion, man, you lead by example, and then give ownership to your guys. Don't micromanage. Give them the ability to prove themselves to you. And then once you gain that trust, it'll just start snowballing, and then you'll build on that relationship. I think that at least that's how I feel like I operate.
Yeah, 100%. So Justin, talk about a little bit what Chief was saying about what you guys did at the colony.
So I'll back up a little bit to talk about the motivating the millennials, or we'll call them millennials. That's who we're getting, these new guys in the fire service. But what Chief was saying, these guys are smarter than we are. They're coming in with college education. They've got access to information that we didn't have 20 years ago. Man, I had that essentials manual, that 3rd edition. Told I am, and they're coming in again. They got a 1,200-page book they got to memorize. For us, motivating those guys is a couple different things. Explaining the why to them. Like, they want to understand. You can't just tell them, hey, this is the expectation and do this, without making them understand why that. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Making them understand. I have no idea. Was that me? I don't know.
It's probably Shep shooting somebody from his treehouse.
Yeah, Shep just choked somebody out. Back.
Who's watching porn, fellas? Turn that
down. But get them to understand the why and why we do these things. Then getting you won't get anything out of them unless they know that you care about them. Teaching a rookie school. We go out here and we expect them to be in some kind of shape, and we talk about how our ability to function on the fire ground is predicated on your physical ability to operate inside of your gear. So we're going to go out there and we're going to PT hard. They know that we're going to invest in them when I'm out there on the ground doing the same PT that they're doing, to get that buy-in from them, that they understand that the people that are mentoring them actually give a shit about them. We're gonna sweat together. We're gonna bleed together. We're gonna get better together. Moving into the actual firehouse with the station logos and the mud flaps, the Squad 18 name, taking pride. What Bassel talked about, giving some ownership to these individual stations with their logos, and letting us be firemen. Take pride in being just a badass fireman, man. Like, we do some cool shit, dude. Hey, you want to put your logo on a t-shirt and wear that stuff around? Hell yeah, dude. Don't wear it to some place you're not supposed to wear it. I mean, I'm seeing some guys do that, but giving them some ownership and giving them pride in what we're doing, and understanding why we do what we do and why it's important to keeping taking care of them and then keeping ourselves alive.
Well, I like that. I like that comment that you guys brought up too, that you always say these guys are like, oh, these rookies and all that. But if you think about it, you put it in a sports perspective, these guys are rookies, but they're starters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it goes down, they're going to be there. So the big thing is to be like, yeah, he's a rookie. So when you call them a rookie, that's kind of a pride thing for them. It's like, yeah, you know what? I'm doing the same thing you're doing for the most part. And then you want to just spew all your knowledge into them, because they're going to be there following you, in front of you, getting your back, however you want to word it. But I always thought that was kind of funny when everyone go, oh, you're a rookie. And I was like, man, that's a compliment.
Yeah. These kids, they're growing up on YouTube and computers. They're not, there's the blue collar aspect of the job that they don't have yet, and we're going to have to build that in them. Running chainsaws and swinging axes, and some of these guys, some of them played sports and things like that coming in, but a lot of them haven't put their hands on tools that haven't been dirty, and we have to show them what it is to do that aspect of the job and bring them up to speed. Like, we can't expect them to know it on day one. We gotta build that in them.
So solid fucking points, Justin. It's so let's hit with Blake. Let's hit with the younger guy's perspective, and let's see what Blake's take is on it as per se a younger guy, not an officer in the fire department. What's his take on getting that motivation going?
Blake's on mute.
No, he's on mute.
Can you guys hear me? My connection is pretty rough. You guys good?
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome, man. I think me, as far as motivation and the things that I do, man, I think the most important part is just, man, like me leading from where I'm at in my crew. Man, as far as our crew, I've had the least amount of time on. I've been there for 6 years. All the guys have been on either 2 or more years, and I have ahead of that. Some being on 15, some being on 12 to 8 years. But anyway, nonetheless, man, I don't think that deters me from being able to lead and help and to motivate the people around me. Man, one of the things that I've learned is that if I get out and do something, then people are going to follow when I do that. If I get out in the bay and I start making noise, people come and they check that stuff out. What's he doing out there? Is he forcing doors? Is he getting the ladder out? What's he doing? Is he putting his gear on to do a workout? What type of training is going on? And typically, if you make enough noise, people are going to come and they're going to look at what the noise is. And so that's how I try to make my statement as far as the things that I do is I try to go out and I lead by doing. I do have a voice on my crew and as a part of the team. But again, I also know where my place is, and even in a situation like this as well, I'm the guy here that's had the least amount of time on. So one of the things I love to do is to sit and listen and soak up all that information, but also know that I need to do my part. I need to get out and I need to be present and be active and be a part of doing whatever it is that I can to further myself and help further my crew or the people around me in my firehouse. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I do is I just get out and I start going, and I hope that people are going to follow suit and do the same thing, which so far I've had really good success with.
Yeah, I want to say something, Blake, what you just said there. You said that you have the least amount of time on this group of guys on this podcast here, but don't sell yourself short, man. And I want to make something clear to everybody on this panel and listening that seniority does not equal experience. I want to make sure that everybody understands this. Being on the job for 15 years doesn't mean that you've got 15 years of experience as a firefighter. So there's two different things. Okay, there's people, and we're not going to name drop people right now, but there is guys and girls on my fire department that have been on the job less than 5 years. They have more experience than guys that have been on my job for 20 years. Okay, so that's a misconception, and we're using these terms in the fire service. Time on the job is everything, but that does not equate to experience. So, bro, don't sell yourself short on that, man. I think you're on the right path. So that's that.
Hey, some of the strongest leaders that we have on our job are your informal leaders. The guys and girls that people follow and gravitate to just because of character, the way they carry themselves, their level of preparedness, and the way the people around them just magnetize towards them because they have that personality, they have that work ethic, the way they carry themselves, the way they conduct themselves under stress, the way they prepare for the job. There's leaders at every level, and everyone can lead from their seat and their position. So again, Blake, you're kicking ass. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. I think it's very important for the senior membership, company officers or not, to make it okay for the rookie to be a rookie.
Yep.
That day one expectation should be set, clear and concise. It's okay for you not to know shit. It's okay for you to ask questions. It's okay for you to fuck up because I fucked up. That has to be understood so that two-way expectation from what he expects from you as his senior member, his partner in the truck, or his company officer is also a two-way street where he has to understand what you expect from him. And it's okay for him to be new. So what happens is that we create a culture where we expect everyone to know everything because they've passed a minimum standards academy or they passed your department's hiring academy, and they hit the floor or they get on the job, and all of a sudden, if they mess something up, they're crucified or penalized or they work under an umbrella of, I hope I don't mess up. And you can't lead from that position. You can't grow from that position if you're the member that's trying to become a good fireman. Let these guys mess up. Let these girls mess up. Let them be new. Let them be selfish. Those first 5-6 years, they should be selfish. They should be absorbing and learning from everyone around them, taking every class, going to every conference, reading as many books, having as many kitchen table conversations from the senior membership. It's all about you those first 5 or 6 years.
So, in talking about new guys, yeah, that's accurate. But even in like some of the senior guys, like the guys that don't want to train, why do they not want to train? Because they don't want people to know what they don't know. And so
Bingo.
and we if we create an environment when we're training where, hey guys, like I tell the guys I train with, hey, I fuck this shit up a lot. Like, you don't get to be good at it until you've messed it up a whole lot. So make it okay and create an environment where new guys and old guys, it is okay to F up. This is where it's okay to F up, and this is how we get better.
Well, and that's right, Justin, because for me in Pearland and look, I know this is a bad word, right? But I'm a proud member of the B shift. I know we went back and forth about that yesterday.
Bless them. I'm sorry.
Fucking
It's unfortunate.
Proud member, right? Proud member. So, but that's it. That's one of my expectations of all the officers and of the shift. All right. I have like two main expectations. One, be a good human being. Because if you can be a good human being, I can teach you, and these officers and these senior men can teach you to be a good fireman. It's simple, but you got to be a good human being. Number two, be uncomfortable, right? If you can't be uncomfortable with yourself and what you don't know and learn how to train and how to get better and take the unknown and make it the known, well, then I don't need you. So I want you to be uncomfortable, and I want you to take those and say, hey, I'm uncomfortable, and then train from that. And if someone on your crew, right, whether it's a fireman or a driver or whatever, is really good at a subject that you're not, then utilize that.
Absolutely.
And tell them, hey, man, I need you to run this class. I'm not comfortable. I'm not good at this, but you are. So I need you to come, and I need you to teach this class to the crew, right? And so if that crew sits here and they say, hey, we're solid at this job, and then we can go to the training division and say, hey, we want to teach this to the whole department, and then we become infectious. And that's the whole point of the job, is you want to become infectious at what you're good at, so that way you spread it all the way around, right? I mean, Bassel says it and Pablo says it all the time, right? 1.1 million firefighters. We can't hit them all. So let's become infectious in our region, in our state, and then let's start infecting the world.
Hey, Herb, what's a B shift?
The best shift.
Oh, is that you guys letter yours? You got
Bitches.
Oh, you're in that new system. So you letter yours? Okay, all right. I was
Well,
just checking.
not all of us are 80 years old,
checking.
Greg.
All right, that's it. I'm out of here. You know, you guys are too mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't go by 1 horse, 2 horse, 3 horse. We go by shifts.
Wow.
Stable 1, stable 2, and stable 3.
Touche, Chief.
Right on.
That.
It's a great thing being new in the fire department. If you guys think back and you're honest with yourselves, yeah, it may have sucked, but God, it was so cool being new at this job. And it always gets thrown around. Like, I wish I knew then what I know now, but I'm glad I didn't, because I enjoyed learning, man. I really did. It was cool. Every conversation was the first time I ever fucking heard something, and it was awesome. I enjoyed every single one of them.
Yeah.
Hey, so Nick, what are you part of your new recruit hiring school or what?
Yeah, we usually rotate. We got one of our captains is kind of the lead for our new recruits, and then we kind of rotate some of our officers and drivers throughout that program. But I've been involved in some way, shape, or form for the last 3 years.
All right, so to piggyback off that, and then we're going to go to Todd. Let's keep rolling with the same question that we were going with. What's your take on how are you finding to get the younger generation motivated into eat, living, and sleeping the job like all of us are on this panel?
You know, that's really been enjoying the feedback here from these guys. But I can tell you, man, for me, it's just you got to find a way to connect with them. You got to get down in the trenches with them and connect with them and make them realize just how lucky they are to be doing this job. Because there's a lot of them that come in, they don't really know a lot about the fire service. Hey, we were all rookies at one point, right? And remembering and thinking back to 16 years ago when I got on the job, and just remembering how excited I was and how scared I was because I didn't know shit, right? I come in, I'm on pins and needles, right? I don't want to fuck up. I don't want to be the guy that lets the crew down, But really, when it comes down to it, when you want to motivate guys, you got to get on their level and you get down in the trenches with them and let them know, like, hey, man, like, whether you realize it or not, you're coming into so much more than just a job. This is the brotherhood. This is what, this, show them what it's about, man. Show them that passion, show them that love. I really enjoyed the video from out of Miami-Dade, was last week. The training officer there really just pumping them up, getting them going. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about, because this job is so much more than just a paycheck. And I think if you can connect with them on that level and let them know, like, hey, it's okay to be the new guy. It's okay to, make mistakes and make it where they're comfortable being uncomfortable. Tell them, like, look, get out there and try new stuff. Try to learn new stuff. Don't be afraid to get out there and get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid to get out there and make mistakes in front of the crew, because what that shows the rest of the crew and the rest of the department is that you're giving an all-out effort, right? It takes, here's the thing, you're going to get criticized if you're out there doing stuff. The people that aren't getting criticized are the ones sitting on their ass on the sidelines. So at the end of the day, my approach is real simple. Try to translate some of that relatable passion, right? Why are you here? Let me explain to you the brotherhood and what this is about. Let me tell you about our family and about the people that work here, because I can tell you right now, if you can connect to that level from day one in recruit class or whatever, if you can, kind of hit them at that entry level with understanding that this is not just a paycheck, this is not just a benefit package, and get to them at that level. I think that really sets you up for success in the long term, as far as, getting production out of your employees, getting guys that are all in, going to conferences, training, trying to be passionate firemen. And that's just it. The bottom line is, if it's mundane and they're bored and they just think that you're just there to collect a paycheck training them, then they're going to replicate that on the fire ground, right? Or on the firehouse, whatever. But if you're passionate and you let them know that, hey, you have high standards, but you know what? You're going to hold yourself to those same high standards right there with them. That's where I see most of the buy-in comes in, when once that clicks and they realize, like, holy shit, like, this guy's really hard on us, but he's also really hard on himself, and he holds himself to the same standard that that I'm being held to. That's where you start seeing buy-in. That's where you guys start going, hey, you know what? All right. I want to be part of this family. I want to be part of that brotherhood.
Yeah, 100%. So, Todd, what about you, man? So you're in Ohio. What's the culture like for you guys up there, man? I mean, obviously you guys are experiencing the same thing that everyone else is experiencing. So what's some of the takes that you do being a senior man?
Man, I don't know. How do I follow all these guys, right? They all hit on extremely good points. But I think having high expectations from the senior guy, lead by example, constant improvement. If you're not finding that improvement in your firehouse, then seek it out somewhere else, right? If that culture's not there, then go find it. Keep building yourself. And then you have to just lead by example, constantly having evaluations of yourself and, constantly striving to be a better person, be a better leader, and then they'll follow you. They'll see it. You can't fake passion. So that's kind of my motto. And hold everybody accountable with no apologies. That's been my thing lately, is no apologies. I might hurt your feelings. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you're not holding up to your end of the bargain, I don't want to be the guy, that dies and you have to come tell my wife that you sucked and you couldn't get me out of the fire because you aren't doing your job.
No, 100%. And so Chief Moore literally said it best. He goes, leaders do not have to know everything, but they have to have the humility to say, I don't know, and let's go find out. Best word saying.
Yep.
Like the problem is that these guys end up getting bugles, and Greg and I use a term, we call it brass poisoning. Guys start trying to promote and they get the brass poisoning, and they get one bugle, they get two bugles, and every single time they get a bugle, they automatically feel like they know more. Well, I hate to fucking tell you, you don't fucking know more. Your crew knows more. You don't know more.
Yeah, you're the new boy again.
Exactly.
Last time I checked, this is a team sport, man. It's a fucking team sport. Lean on your team.
But the problem is that the guys that chase these fucking bugles, they get so tied up in, you know what? I got to get promoted. I got to hurry up and get promoted. I need that pay raise. Oh shit! I got two bugles. You know what? I know everything. No, you don't. Just like Greg said, now you're a new boy again. Now your crew is going to teach you, and you're going to learn with your crew. You are not better than your crew just because you got promoted. You know what that tells me? That tells me that you tested good on that day. That's all that is.
Well,
You
there's
tested
power.
good
There's
on the day.
power. There's power in the numbers too, and they outnumber you. So that's where you got to kind of listen, man. You know what I mean? And kind of, like you said, lean on your crew. It's a team. Now, if I'm going to make a dumb decision and I'm going to be the one getting in trouble, then I'm going to make that decision that I feel is best. But I'm going to listen to what everybody kind of throws at me, and I'm going to evaluate and go, all right, this might not get me in as much trouble as I thought, so I'm going to go with this one instead. You know, that's reality of it.
Well, I mean, vulnerability, right? Vulnerability, humility. That's the number one underrated and missed out aspect of leadership that nobody wants to admit to. If you can't be vulnerable and you can't build relationships, and you can't be a leader, period.
Yeah, the best captain that I ever worked for he wasn't like the most physically fit guy. He wasn't the technical expert on anything, but he had no ego. Like, he checked that shit at the door, and he had just a bunch of badass guys that worked for him, and he knew that, hey, these guys can handle this, and he didn't have a problem asking these guys, hey man, what do you think here? And he recently promoted to a battalion chief, and the dude is rock solid. Follow him anywhere, and that to be at that level, to be that humble is huge. That's huge.
He must have been on the B shift.
No. So here's the thing: is that he is now.
See,
I know that's hurtful.
He promoted on to the B shift because he had to
That's
straighten
right.
that
He
shit out on the B
promoted.
shift.
There you go.
Yeah.
He promoted. Love it.
Nice. Hey, well, so I'm going to segue. Right, am I up, Herb, or what? Am I being cut off?
Yep, you're in, brother.
All right. I'm going to segue right into it a little bit. I like all the talk about the new guys and all that, but, we can kind of talk to them and we can check our egos at the door and all that. But it's whether we like it or not, we've been 57 minutes. It's time to do hood rat shit. We need to start talking about some legit tactics. So VES going beyond the door. So I'm going to fire off a couple things, and then I'll start with like if going back to the Brady Bunch, if this was the Brady Bunch, I'll start with Bassel, because he would be Florence, the housekeeper. So I'll start with her. You know what I mean?
God damn.
So a couple things to just
Just
put
keep
in
our
there.
phones at a time.
I kind of want everybody to jump in whenever they can, but VES beyond the door, split searches. If you guys do anchored searches, do you guys talk data with your crews, or do we just kind of like, hey man, that's how we've always done it, or that's how we're going to do it? And how do you train them up for this? Obviously, you guys, we talked about it, you empower your new guys, you bring them with you. They're a part of the team, kind of accept them. They put in some work, and then you go with that. And then how do you not discourage them when we start talking about clean cab? Because everything's got to be extremely fast. You got to bust ass. You got to get to the door. Everything's about time. But here, I'm going to put your air packs in the bumper. So we'll start with VES beyond the door, kind of a search kind of deal. I'll start with you, Shepherd, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, search. It's one of our number one priorities, right? Life safety. It's so imperative that we understand and learn how to read a structure, learn how to read the incident, and decide whether we have a VS situation, and we have to go in for them. We can't just sit complacent, right? That's the number one thing. Be aggressive, have aggressive mindset, and sometimes depending on departments, it's looked at now as being too aggressive. There's a fine line between being aggressive and doing the right thing. So I think for me and our crew, I'm not the leader of our crew. It's imperative that everybody is very good at search. It's one of the big fours, right? So we definitely have to keep training on it. It's a diminishing skill, and you can't be you can't be a rock star at everything. And the only way to do it is to keep training and keep doing it, right? So that's my take on it.
Well, so, and the other thing to add to that too, we have a saying too, because you hit it. There's a difference in being aggressive versus being reckless. And I think that's the big thing that we always push with when we train in our classes, when we train our new guys in the house, or even just talking shop. It's like there's a fine line between that, but everyone has to be average to above average at search. It's the most important thing. So I couldn't agree with you more on that. Basil, what's your take on it? I know you do a lot of RIT, myself as well. What's your take on it?
So that's, first of all, fuck clean cabs. That's what I want to say out there. I am very anti-fucking clean cabs, and I'm going to say a lot of F-bombs because that's one thing that really, really fucking pisses me off. It's all money-driven, and if you do clean cabs, I'm sorry, you are putting your firefighters, your officers, and your fucking people in your first due second, and you're putting your people in a bad spot. Especially your members of your department. You're going to tell me you're going to show up to a fucking house fire and then you have...
He's fired up. He's fired up.
Yeah, because it's fucking stupid. That's fine. Everything we do in this job is based on the time, on the clock. Yeah. Okay, like my buddy Ben Schultz, he works for you guys in West Palm. He says it, and I teach him. I look up to him and all, but he says seconds count, right? Everything we do on this job is based on time. I don't care if it's EMS or fire or RIT or tech rescue or hazmat. It doesn't matter. It's all based on time. The faster you get there, the faster you remove the people from the IDLH or the emergency, the higher survival rate they're going to have. So why the fuck are you putting the citizens like after yourselves? I don't understand. Plus, you get on scene. Let's paint the picture, and I'm going to make this quick because I know there's a bunch of people that want to jump on here. But you show up on scene. I'm the officer. I get out of the truck. It's a ripping fire. I don't have my shit on, right? I got to get outside, put my air pack on. Now, mom or dad or neighbor comes up. Hey, there's people in there. My kids are in there, or whatever. What am I going to do? Am I just going to say, "Excuse me, sir. Hold on. I got to put my fucking air pack on, give me a second"? No, what am I going to do? I'm going to rush. I'm going to either not get dressed properly. I'm going to not do a good 360. I'm going to miss some stuff because we're all aggressive type people in the fire service. We want to get to work fast. Now we're going to rush and potentially make the situation worse. All right. So yes, everybody hates cancer. I understand the whole, you don't want to get cancer and the whole thing about the clean cab, but this whole clean cab thing is money driven. They don't care about you. They don't care about the cancer that you're getting. It's all about selling new apparatus to all these other people. So fuck that clean cab. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I can talk about it and I have data that proves it. I mean, I've tried it on the clock. It's fucking slower.
So the big thing with that too, and I'm cutting Rob off. I know he's got probably a few things to say about this, but the few thing is nobody signs up for the fire department, and when they walk up to it, they go, "Man, I cannot wait to get lung cancer because then I know I'm a badass." Nobody does that. We try to go for time. We try to. I mean, we got guys putting their masking up and glove and doing everything possible in 13 seconds at the door. So. Why take that time away from them? Let them drive, let them push, let them get to the door, let them pop the door, take a quick look. That's your grab right there every time. But their data has shown that, well, only 1 out of 100,000 somebody's going to tell you that, when you arrive, they're actually going to be hanging out of the window. But I don't want to be there that day when that happens. I want to have my air pack on and I want to be rocking, ready to go.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. With no, I don't think I said as many F-bombs as Basil, but
sorry, I get fired up.
I know, I love it. I love it.
We should get Basil and Pablo together.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God. They'd be double fisting water bottles.
I'm over here trying to be PC.
There'd be so many burpees on the stage, nobody could get any words in. Go ahead,
amazing. Rob. I'm just going to go ahead and just add on exactly what Basil just said. Clean cabs, they get a real bad rap. I'm against it. I am 1,000% against moving our air packs or anything that we need to prepare us to conduct fire operations once we go arrive on scene and moving into the outside of the truck. 1000% on board with that. Clean cab, the concept of the clean cab, and Basil and I have had this conversation in our 27-hour drive up to Georgia last month. But we talked about it in our drive up there, guys. That was a concept that in its infancy made sense when we were making that push for health and safety. It was talking about cleaning the cab, removing it of contaminants, non-permeable seats, moving the wiring harnesses from the ground to the top so we can hose it down, making sure everything was wipeable, making sure that the HVAC systems in these trucks were improved, making sure everybody would shower within the hour, second set of gear, wash your hoods on Sundays. And then someone added, move the air packs out of the cab. And once they threw that in there, that's what every vendor and company and fire chief in the nation hung their helmet and hat on. And every time you went to go build a rig, you had to build it with the air packs on the outside. And all the other shit that would have had positive change that didn't impact our operations, our searches, our size ups, went by the wayside because it affected what we do best, is to be here for them. I agree with Basil. When you show up on a fire scene, the fire scene always gets a vote in your decision making. The fire gets a vote, the fire ground gets a vote. If all of a sudden I show up and I'm getting dressed and I'm trying to speed up and now I got to go grab my pack and my fireman's on the other side of the truck grabbing his pack, I'm going to become aggressive without intellect and miss a lot of things in my 720 that is going to get myself and my crew in trouble and is going to decrease our survivability. I'm completely against it, and I'm just going to throw a fuck in there just to go with Basil.
Hey,
so I mean, look at this. Look at this, right? So you have municipalities, you have ESDs, right? Emergency service districts, county fire departments, whatever. They pay $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 to do a standards and cover survey, right? They come in, they tell you where you need firehouses, how many firehouses you need, how many pumpers, ladder trucks, medics you need to be able to cover your territory, right? Because it's all based on what, Basil? Time. That's what it's based on. So I pay all this money to build these firehouses, to have these units to make my time faster. And then I want to throw in clean cabs. So something that I'm very proud at Pearland Fire Department that we do is we take what the true data is. 90% of the time, if you come out and rapid decon on scene, gross decon, you will prevent cancer, right? If you go through a decon corridor, and take a shower, you will prevent cancer. So we're doing that in our fire stations. We are putting decon corridors. We're putting saunas in fire stations. We're doing everything we can after the initial push to prevent cancer, rather than put the citizens at risk for having this concept that is money driven, like Basil said. So that's the thing that we have to get back to is we all took an oath. We all have a mission. Our job is to put the fire out and make the grab, period. Right?
Somebody's paying these guys off on the apparatus committees or something. They must be getting kickbacks. All right, but before we keep going on, let's circle back to the VES and the search, because that's kind of where I was going. And I threw time, and we started freaking out, and I started sweating. And people were yelling at me.
My bad.
I panicked. I'm sorry, guys. I panicked.
Shep
So
fell asleep.
go back to your VES, and I'll swing back to Basil here.
Okay, so
about the VES and the training and the data. Do you utilize data with your new guys and when you teach classes? That's what I'm going back.
I'm a very data-driven individual. I believe that we need to look at the data. Okay, your tactics should be driven off of data, training, and then experience. That's how your tactics should be, your SOP should be driven. Data. Somebody already did the work, or you do the work, use it, and then try it. Now, it's going to be different depending on your staffing and your response areas, your alarms, and all of that. But as far as VES goes, I think it's a tactic that needs to be used no matter what department you go for. It is proven to have the most grabs in residential fires. All right. And then especially if you're doing a split search, and if you're talking split search as far as interior search and VES, is that what you're talking about, or interior split search?
Both, actually, because I know the terminology is different to where you go, and they also have anchored and they also have controlled. So, and targeted is another one everyone utilizes. So however you utilize it, we'll use it in perspective.
Okay, well, first, that's going to depend on your staffing levels, for me, in my opinion. Okay, As far as VES goes, we practice that a lot in Orlando. We're very successful at it because we put tons of hours and emphasize it in our training. It's the fastest access to the victims a lot of times. The inside crews, the interior search is going to search from the inside, from the front of the fire, and then the VES guys or girls are going to access from the back of the fire. So at that point, we're doing a split search, cutting the time in half because we're doing it simultaneously, and then we're getting an all clear of the structure faster. Now, the whole beyond the door thing, a lot of people and still in our department are like, oh no, you're one room VES and this and that. Firefighters aren't robots. We cannot be cookbook firefighters and be like, this is how it's going to be every single freaking time. It's not the way we live in. The fire service is dynamic, and this is what I love about it. Every day you go to work, it's different. Whether the fires are not the same, the medical calls are not the same, nothing is the same. So that being said, me and my crew, we as long as we have communication, I'm good with whatever. If I drop in a room and I go to that door, I sweep that hallway and I look down and freaking down all the way down that hallway, there is a victim. I'm gonna freaking go get the victim, man. I mean, I'm not gonna, hey guys, hold on, let me shut the door, do my sweep, come down, get my ladder, go to the next window, go. We're wasting time. We're not doing that. So I am a proponent of beyond the door with the right conditions. And you not recklessly, you need to pay attention to the conditions. All that stuff applies, the conditions, the building construction, where the fire is, and all. But I say go for it. Don't be stuck to one way of doing it. Use your head and make an educated, calculated decision and go with it.
I completely agree. I'm also a big fan of when mixing the searches too. When everyone says, "Oh, we have to do an oriented search," it's like you may go in VES and utilize every single search capability that you have. You may have a guy anchored, someone that's not oriented. You may go beyond the door, and then you have to go exit another room. So I completely agree with you on that. What's your take on that, Shepherd?
I completely agree with you guys. I wanted to build off of Bassel's comments on dynamic training. We have to put people in place that are putting on training that are dynamic and not just regurgitating what they've learned without experience. And what I mean by that is we have to be able to build chains. I like to teach with chainable techniques. We're forming a chain, and each option is a link in that chain. And you have to be able to be dynamic and not just get in that cookie cutter mindset of entering that room. And if the conditions are right, you need to search that hallway, like Bassel said. You need to read those conditions and pick and choose. Not every situation is going to demand a VES situation, and not every situation is going to demand you leaving that room. So getting in the bad habit of always training where you shut that door and only search that room is a bad habit. We have to be dynamic.
You guys have to also understand that all this is only possible in real life if we have systems in place already as a company, where you as company officers or senior members or your crew has practiced this before. Because that decision is not made at the window on the day of the VES or at the door when you decide to go beyond the door. The person at that window, when you get to that door, their level of experience and comfort with you matters. Everyone we've talked to, everyone who's been involved in a VES understands that there's guys or girls that if you do not prepare them for that position and you're at that door, you look over your shoulder, that's a lonely feeling if that person behind you doesn't have the same language that you do, the same terminology that you do, the same level of preparedness that you do. And that's where we prepare every shift, day in, day out, to make that grab for that one opportunity. Because when you get to that door, if you look over your shoulder and the person behind you, shit, I wish it was someone else. If you ever have that moment, then we ourselves have failed to prepare for that moment.
Absolutely.
As a company.
Absolutely, man.
Because that gets a vote too. That gets a vote.
That everything, that gets a vote. Everything that we do on the fire ground is conditions based. Who you were riding with that day and who's behind you and their level of training, that is a condition that you're going to have to contend with. And absolutely, knowing that whoever's behind you is solid. If, like you said, if I turn around and that guy's not solid, man, we may have to make another plan because, yeah, dog, we're not doing this with you, man.
And you hit some good points there, Justin. I mean, Rob, both you guys. I mean, here's the deal. You know, at the end of the day, if I got a brand new guy, three days on the job, right? Does that change the way I approach the same situation if I got a guy that's been with me for the last 3 years? Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, like, I know that guy that I've been with for the last 3 years, shift in and shift out. I know what their limitations are. I know what they can do. And they know what I can do, right? So when we get in those situations, at the end of the day, you know, if I got a guy that I've been with for 3 days, I may be a little less aggressive just because I don't know what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks to say that, but that's the reality. The reality of it is when you've got guys that you train with, you drill with, and you've been through some shit together, you tend to be able to push the envelope a little bit more because you know where that line is with those guys. So, you know, as far as the search goes, you know, it is situational. This whole thing, always and nevers, that's a bunch of shit because the bottom line is you got to know when, you know, you can get away with doing certain things when you can't. Let's teach them the why, right? Instead of saying you always do this, you never do this, teach them the why. Go beyond the door when you can, right? If we can go beyond the door, why the fuck not? If we can't go beyond the door because there's a shit ton of fire and heat condition before that door or behind that door, then, I mean, common sense is close the fucking door. But at the end of the day, you know, I live in my first due. My family lives in my first due. So it's fucking personal to me. It's personal. Those guys come off looking for a reason to go in and get them. It's personal to me that if I'm on shift, guess what? You know, guys talking about VES, it's cowboy shit. Well, if it's cowboy shit, settle up my horse, motherfuckers, because we're going.
Yep.
Absolutely. Hey, Chief, I'd like to hear what your take is on that after hearing what everybody says, how you look at it from the front, doing your 360s, whatever. How do you look at this with your guys pushing in VES? What are you listening for? What are you looking for if they're going to push in past the door?
So I think the most important thing as a chief, right, is to absolutely 100% trust your officers. You have to trust that they're going to look at the building, they're going to look at the smoke, they're going to read it, and they're going to make the right decision based on what they see, right? Because when I'm looking out, I may not see certain things that they see, right? My thing is, I want you to be aggressive in your search, right? Pablo, Sean Duffy, they talk about it all the time about being aggressive in your search culture. What is your culture? So I want them to be aggressive. I want them to read the building, and I want them to be able to react and make a decision and enter. When we talk about going beyond the door, I want them to be thinking, is this a 2-story house where this window may be my only exit? Or is this a 1-story house where I may have multiple exits, whether it's through a window or through a back door or front door? I want them to be thinking about that. When you enter that room and you're going beyond the door, what are the conditions I see? Right? I trust them to make that decision because they make that decision based on the trust they have in the men behind them and the women behind them. Right? And the only way they're going to be able to trust that is how they trained them. That's what it comes down to. Right? And so did you train them on the culture? Did you train them on being aggressive? Did you train them on the methods that we want to do? And how are we going to do this? What is our plan going into it? You know, just 2 short years ago, I was a company officer. I had a plan for everything based on the crew, whether it was an extrication, VES, fire attack, cutting a hole, whatever. We had a plan and we would practice those plans. And we practiced them so much that we could call audibles off of those plans to make decisions based on our knowledge, skills, and abilities. So that's the key. So as a chief looking into it, 1, I trust my officers 1,000%. 2, I trust that they've trained their crews ready to go. So if you're going to go beyond the door in a 2-story house, I want you to know that you need to somehow mark that door that you exited to make sure that that's your exit if shit goes bad. Plain and simple. Because you're on a 2-story house. You may not be able to get downstairs. And if you can't, you know for sure without a doubt that there's a ladder in that window and you got to go back out that window. If you're in a 1-story house, then let's talk about this, right? Where's your attack crew? Because what we all know is no matter how aggressive you search, your attack crew has to put water on the fire. So where's your attack crew? In correlation to, as a chief, you may have somebody doing VES, but you still should be starting a primary search with somebody else. So where are they? And you need to communicate that. before you go beyond that door. Like, hey, so Justin, Chief Thompson talks about all the time, you have Fox boxes. So you have a Fox box house and you VES, let's say on the Charlie side of it. Well, hell, that primary search may be already at the Charlie side. So then there's no reason to go beyond the door. But you got to communicate that. Like, hey, you know, Justin, I don't know what y'all are, but squad 18 to
Squad.
squad 18 to truck 14, right? Or whatever. Where are you at? Well, I'm at the Charlie side. I'm in the third bedroom. Okay, cool. I just VES the Charlie side in the second bedroom. We're heading out. And then they're going to finish the search. So everybody's saying the same shit, I think. It's a lot of situational dependent and what you see and what you feel in your gut as an officer. But from the chief looking in, if I don't trust my officers, the whole scene fails. The search fails, everything fails. And so I know that I sit down and I have conversations with my officers that instills that trust. And I can sit here tonight and tell amongst, you know, whoever's watching, right, the world, I trust my officers 1,000% to make that decision when lives depend on it. And they know that on the B shift, I'm going to say that again, on the B shift, that
I just gave him a heartache.
my expectation is to find a reason to go in and not an excuse to stay out. End of story.
Yeah.
I like it.
In truck 14, they're still en route to the scene. They haven't made it yet. That's why I stayed on the squad. We're gonna do hood rat shit without the truck. I don't need a ladder on that thing. Let's get it.
Well, what is Timothy? What does Timothy ride?
He's on truck 14.
Oh, so, God. Well, Timothy was doing some work yesterday, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I guess he got a little bit of work yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was off. I'm home.
Hey, Chief Johnson, you went ahead and you touched up on the audible, on how to call the audible, when you're comfortable to allowing your company officers or, you know, giving them the freeway based on your trust to call that audible. As a company officer, you got to create the ability to call that audible through having your members understand the why, the skills, the drills, the repeat, the repeat with interruption, the changing the scenario up in training where they get to the door and they have the victim at the door and communicating it to the outside, painting a picture for the chief officer in the front yard. All these things matter, man. If you just show up to these fires and you think you're going to figure this shit out, man, shame on you. Shame
Absolutely.
on you and your ego. You're not going to figure shit out when it matters unless you put in the time, the sweat equity, and created that common ground, common language with your members so that you can call it Omaha when you need to.
Absolutely.
I mean, man, if you think that person behind you, their level of preparedness, you could be the baddest motherfucker on the job or even at your firehouse. We're not one-man teams. That day, if you're by yourself, you're either A, going to get yourself killed trying or have to stop what you're doing, what you're prepared to do because the persons around you lack the same level of preparedness because you failed to prepare them or bring them along the journey with you. So I can be out there all day. I can be out there all day throwing ladders and gear by myself. If no one's joining me, I'm failing at a very high level.
Absolutely.
I'm failing.
And that's where you as a senior man should go in that day room and say, get your ass out of the recliner, come throw ladders with me. End of story. Right? So if you can beat me at throwing a ladder, if you can beat my time, if you can do it proficiently, then you can go sit in the recliners. If you can't, then you're going to stay out here with me. Plain and simple.
Amen.
You know, I mean, that audible is an essential skill to an officer's ability. It is. Mm-hmm. You have to have that ability to do it. And here's the thing. When I was a company officer, the last thing that I wanted was the chief telling me, hey, you're going to do this because I see this. Well, hold up a second. I know it's a radio communication, but let's have a communication about what each other sees, because what I'm seeing on the outside may be 180 degrees different than what I'm seeing on the inside. So just ask that important question of, hey, I'm seeing this on the outside. What do you got? And if I tell you, Chief, I got it, and it looks like I may have it, then let me get it for a second, right? Or if I tell you, hey, Chief, I got high heat, no visibility, we're searching, but we're getting our ass kicked. Well, then and if that matches with the conditions he's seen on the outside, that might be a moment where he pulls us out or she pulls us out, right? So, I mean, that's the things that you got to do. You have to trust your officers. If I don't trust my officers, I fail as a chief, 1,000%. I have to trust what they are telling me, and I have to instill those cultures and those values that I want in them of we are here for them. We take an oath for them. And at the end of the day, nobody wants to get cancer. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to get hurt. But guess what? That's what comes with the job. Plain and simple. It's come with the job since day one. It's come with the job since Bears of the Oath right here. When they shook hands with the insurance company, those firemen were going to work with buckets to save lives and save property and put their lives at risk for the citizens that paid for them to do so. And that's all there is to it. We have to be prepared for that moment, and you prepare through your training.
Hey Rob, did anyone explain to you what a squad was? Do you understand all the squad talk? You're running from your quint.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry. You looked a little lost there, dude. I was just trying to help out.
I was Googling squad.
Listen, don't be mad at fucking Rob, dude.
Sorry.
It's a transgender engine. And we're being fucking politically correct on this
completely
podcast.
acceptable these days, dude.
Are we doing this right now live?
Yes.
Because this is some pre-show shit that you guys are doing right now.
Yes. 100%.
I thought you said gloves off.
Hey, listen,
Gloves
put your
off.
stick up and pull some hose, bro.
Look how tight Shepherd. Look how tight Shepherd's shirt is. Distraction.
I'm not gonna lie, we've had like 4 comments in like the last 20 minutes about Shepherd's shirt. So
yeah,
that's amazing.
It's an extra large.
That's what happens when you wear a medium.
Just take it off, bro. Just take it off.
It's an extra large.
Hey,
listen, if you have a Hulk moment right now, nobody's gonna complain. Okay, you pull your shirt off.
That's why I'm here for the show,
I'm
bro.
sure like half the dudes on the show right now will probably get a boner.
I'm here for the show.
Hey,
He has to wear a medium shirt to offset the books in his background.
How do you think he got those muscles, man? Looking at all those books
no
for his life.
possible way that Greg had any friends growing up.
I told him that was a secret, not to tell people that.
And then everyone else said that, hey, Rob, you're transgender engine. Legit.
It's a quint. Say quint. I'm gonna explain it one more time.
I accept you, Rob.
Do.
I accept you, Rob.
I identify as a truck. I operate sometimes as an engine, most of the time as an ambulance. It's a modern day piece, boys. I can do it all.
It's an engine with an ISO rating on top.
That's all it is.
All right, so
100%.
So I'm gonna jump into Bassel, and then I'm gonna go into Nick, and then I'm just gonna jump around. So with Bassel, explain to me what your definition of a healthy firehouse culture is. Like what? So you being a company officer, what makes a healthy firehouse culture?
That's a good question. A lot of angles to it, but I think a healthy firehouse culture, you have to set expectations, and then you have to have fun while you're doing it. So officers, let your guys know what you expect of them. You can't hold them accountable if they don't know what they're supposed to do. And then while you're doing it, in the process, make it fun. This job is supposed to be a good time. It's not all about just beating everybody down all the time and being an asshole and all. All right? Let's set expectations, train, learn from each other both ways. I learned just as much from my new guys. He's like 21-year-old, but he's good with all the new technology and the computers and Excel spreadsheet and technology, the new cars and all. A huge resource, right? But you got to set expectations and then make the whole process fun. That's a good firehouse culture, and instill that pride in them. It's something like loving the job and having pride is viewed as a bad thing now. I don't get it. I do not understand that whatsoever. But the only way to shut people down is prove them wrong with your actions. You know, you can show them on the fireground that the training is paying off. That's why you're the last guys. Your company's the last company to run out of air. Your company's the first company to stretch and stop that door, throw that ladder, or whatever. That's how you shut the haters. And you're never going to make everybody happy. But that question, man, how do you make a healthy firehouse culture? That's multifaceted, man. We can talk about that all kinds of ways. But for me, healthy means proficient and having fun. That's what my healthy is, I guess. Like I come to work, I want to be fucking the best company on the job, and I want to have the most fun in the department. That's my healthy culture.
All right, so let's jump to Nick. Same question, bro.
Yeah, man. You want to know what your culture is in your firehouse? Look at your shift change. Bottom line, look at shift change in the morning. If guys are getting there at 5 minutes till shift change, doing a quick, hey, what the fuck's up, and getting out of the truck, and the guys that are coming off are like, yeah, fuck you guys. You guys screwed it all up, and we're leaving. If that's the culture, you got a shitty culture, right? But if guys, and honestly, I mean, I truly believe this. Like, if you have a healthy culture, guys want to learn, guys want to train, guys want to be around each other, right? If you're having a bunch of bickering and blaming and pointing fingers, you have a shitty culture. If you have a bunch of guys that are engaged, that are trying to, embrace each other, embrace the firehouse, make, that firehouse the best that it can be, make that department the best it can be. I mean, there should be a little bit of friendly, bantering competition for sure, right? That's a healthy culture, right? But at the end of the day, if guys are constantly pointing fingers and morale's low, you gotta look at the officers in the firehouse, in my opinion, because the officers in the firehouse set the tone. And if we're not doing our job as officers to kind of build that culture, to make that culture fun, to make that culture engaging, to make it where guys want to train, guys want to learn, if training is a drag, you're doing it wrong. If doing your firehouse duties together, whether it be cooking, cleaning, whatever, if guys want to go in their bedroom and hang out whenever they get free time, you're doing it wrong. That's how you know your culture sucks. Honestly, you know how the best culture is when guys want to sit on the bumper together and have a cup of coffee in the morning. If you find yourself like your wife's like, hey, are you coming home? It's like 8 o'clock and shift changes at 7. That probably means you're doing something right? You want to be around your brothers. You want to learn. You want to talk. You want to be part of the brotherhood, right? If guys are like cannot wait, like 7:01, they're out the door. That's always been my thermometer, right? And the bottom line is, if we don't do our part as officers to make training engaging, challenging, but yet still fun, if we don't do our part to build cohesion among the shifts and shift change, right? If everything out of our mouth is, fuck the chief, fuck those guys on B shift, it's always B shift, right? But
wait.
Truthfully though, if we're always negative, or if we're always throwing fuck yous at those guys and think we're the shit, that's going to lead to poor morale. If shift change is going to lead to poor morale on shift, because they're always going to be looking over the shoulder like, what did B shift fucked up? What did the Chiefs fuck up? What's the real agenda here? So the bottom line is, me, it's like this. I want to know, do guys want to engage in the extracurricular activities? Do they want to go the extra mile in training? Do they want to go the extra mile sitting on the bumper, having coffee, whatever it may be? That's where you find out like where guys are at. And the bottom line is, if they're not there, what are we doing as officers to get them there? Because we have an obligation to set culture, to set the tone on that shift. And if I, as an officer, come in and constantly badmouth the chief or constantly badmouth the other officer at whatever station, blah, 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 or the other shift, what are the guys underneath me going to do?
Yeah, but so to go off of what you're saying, so shit rolls downhill and it rolls uphill.
Sure.
So if you have battalion chiefs that roll in, they're only worried about overtime and they're only worried about their self. They don't give a fuck about the crew.
Mm-hmm. That
shit is going to trickle down, no matter how you look at it. 100% it's going to trickle down. So you look at the younger generation. It's up to all of us that are on this screen right here, right now, to say, you know what? That's not okay.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the top 3 guys that are sitting here on this panel, myself, Greg, Rob, I've talked to Chief Johnson numerous times. It's on us. Like there is nothing else. Like at the end of the day, you want to go to your retirement, you want people to go there and be like, yo, you know what? He was a great fucking officer. He was this, he was that, he was this. I can tell you right now that myself and Greg have had officers that were looked at as some of the greats, had 0 fucking people show up to their fucking retirement. That tells me that you're doing something fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And listen, this shit is more than a fucking t-shirt and a goddamn sticker. I promise you. This shit doesn't, you're not a fireman because you came onto the job and you got a fucking sticker and a t-shirt. It's more than that. So you better fucking perform. And you better perform as a company officer. You better perform as a fireman. You better perform as a driver engineer. Every fucking role that you're in, you better perform in. And the fact of the matter is that we're in a different generation where people don't give a fuck about that no more.
Me first, bro.
Like, you know what? It's about the, what does this job give me? That shit doesn't work, dude.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, what do I give back to this job? What have I done to make this job better? And the reality is that I guarantee you, we could sit there and go, all of us could go to every class that we go to and be like, hey, what have you done for your department? 90% of those fucking people are going to not be able to answer that question. I promise you that. Because everyone wants everything fucking handed to them. This job is not to give you anything. This job is to fucking make you be better. And then in return, I get better from fucking Rob. I get better from Greg. I get better from everybody sitting on here. Basil, myself, and fucking Rob had a goddamn conversation about clean cab for fucking 2.5 hours driving up to Georgia. And we still looked at each other like, all right, we didn't fix anything.
Man, what a horrible ride. You talked about clean cab for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, there was
I'd rather throw myself out of the car.
10th of the ride, though.
I mean, here's the thing.
Only 4 hours left.
Hey. I'm not gonna tell you how Basil locked his own keys in his truck though. But it is what it is.
I mean, the question comes down to this, though, Herbie. I mean, at the end of the day, how do you get guys to show up and do the extra shit, right? How do you get them to look beyond the paycheck? Like, oh, you know, how many times have you had something going on and someone was like, "Am I getting paid for this?"
But
so many times, right?
But here's the thing, though. Everybody that's on the screen right here has volunteered their time for everything. And we learned that from somebody else. We didn't just come into the job and say, you know what, like, this is how it's supposed to be. No. We were taught that.
Yeah.
So we're fucking up because we're not showing the younger generation what it's like for the rite of passage. Because the younger generation comes in and goes, you know what? I have my fire standards. I got the job. I'm here. Negative, bro. Negative.
I think you influence that by, you got to start with somebody. Might as well start with me. Start with you individually. And I come in every day. I don't care about me so much. I don't care. I'm going to put myself last. I'm there for them. And when you're able to demonstrate that, the guys that you work with, you can't do the whole department. You've got your little circle of influence. But my guys know that they are my priority all the time. And you create this culture of, we try to outdo how much we care for each other. We have our paramedic only programs. I have 2 paramedic only that work at my firehouse. They're going on EMS calls. I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that they don't have to clean stuff if I can. If they're out running calls, we're going to clean the firehouse. There's little bitty things, just these little gestures that let them know that we care about them. And I'm going to go, out of my way to take care of them. The guys in the fire side, I don't know if there's a guy in my department that doesn't know that I will burn myself to the ground if that's what it takes to get them out. And once you have your little circle of influence and you demonstrate time and time again, hey, I'm here for you, I'm not here for myself, and they start buying into that, and then they start deprioritizing themselves, and it turns into the kind of like the crew that I have now. We got a phenomenal crew. It's a bunch of guys that come in and care about each other. We give each other shit all day, dude. We bust balls hard. It's a good time, but you build those relationships out of love by throwing that love out there first.
Yeah. I think that you even can affect those changes before they get to the firehouse. We have a standard problem in the fire service, and actually nationally and internationally, we have a standard problem. We are lowering the standard for everything, including the fire academies, the shit that they teach the new recruits in the fire academies, the way they teach it. It's commercialized. Everything is commercialized. All they care about is money and then the 100% pass rate. When they leave, they feel like they're successful, and then they apply for a job. How do we hire people nowadays? Not based on fucking performance, I can tell you that. We hire them based on demographics. And I don't want to get into this political rabbit hole that we have here, but that is fact, okay? That we hire people because we need X amount of males, X amount of females, X amount of this, X amount of that, and then we forget to hire people based on, my opinion, the three things that are important is effort, attitude, and performance. Okay, if you hire people based on these three things, we're not going to have as hard of a time mentoring and then switching the people to have a good mindset and a healthy culture. We are breeding the wrong mentality from the get-go, that everybody gets everything for free and then you get the job just because you are who you are. And then I just want to put it out there. I am not saying anything that guys are better than girls or whatever, because even in my fire department, there is girls that work there that I would rather work with on my company than dudes that work for us. So that has nothing to do with that. But our hiring processes and the way we teach in the academies, we need to get back to that, like paramilitary, and then focus on performance and not just demographics and stuff. Effort, attitude, and performance. You got to have that performance factor. Without that performance factor, you're just a nice guy.
Yeah,
that's it. That's just my 2 cents.
And not just hiring. That's for promotions too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Stop giving everybody a fucking trophy. Stop giving everyone a trophy. This isn't fucking welfare. Like, the bottom line is your actions speak. Either you do or you do not. It's that simple on this job. But the problem is we want to give everybody a trophy, and everybody want to hire so many people, this, that, and the other, whatever. But the bottom line is, all that shit doesn't really matter when shit's burning, right? When someone's trapped inside a fire, that's when you find out who the fakers and the real dudes are, right? That's when you find out who's actually there to be a fireman and who's fucking just there to collect a t-shirt and a fucking paycheck, right? So at the end of the day, stop fucking giving out trophies to everybody just because they showed up. Bottom line, if you want to be here, be here.
The big problem with that too is when you do hire those people and nobody trains them, or they just give in, like we talked about, there's repercussions. And what they do is the departments, like whoever it is, policy writers, and I've talked to Duffy and Pablo about this numerous times, is we write the policy for the weakest person. So now you can't press anymore for what we need to do. What we, VES is too scary now. It's too dangerous. It's 12 feet in the air on a ladder. That you did that in minimum standards, but you can't do that anymore. So we safety ourselves right out of being effective every single time. So it's a vicious cycle. And if you do hire them, it's our job to train them, to bring them up to speed. And if they can't cut it, they need to be washed. Yeah. It's that simple.
You're right. To that point, Greg, I tell everybody that you don't get to pick your family, right? You don't get to pick who your mom is, who your dad is, who your brothers or sisters are in your family, right? You're just born and they're there, right? But they're your family, whether you like them or not, they're your family. Same thing with the guys and girls that we hire. Well, they may not have been the best candidate, but once they wear that badge and that patch, they're your freaking family, man, and they're there. So instead of just shitting on them, let's make them better. You know?
Yeah,
I agree.
well, you know, y'all are hitting it on the nail on the head. I mean, the biggest thing to firehouse culture is building relationships. That's it. If you can't build relationships with the people that you work with, then you're not worth the fire service. I mean, at the end of the day, I say it in my class all the time. You have to be in their phone, in their ear, in their head, right there in front of them 100% of the time, right? You make a bad call at work, text them, call them the next day. Hey, man, I know that was a rough call. How are you doing? Right? Mm-hmm. Hey, rookie, you did phenomenal last tour. I really appreciate your hard work. I want you to come back to shift, and I want you to put in that same effort, right? I'm not saying that we have to sit here and hold these kids' hands or that we have to hold anybody's hands. I'm not saying that we have to pat them on the back or completely support them up, right? But at the end of the day, our job is to make sure that we give them a path for success. And if we're not doing that because we're too selfish or because we're too closed-minded or because we don't want to build a relationship, then we're our own fault. We're the own damage to the fire department that everybody bitches about. And so we have to stop that stigma. And we have to put our foot out there. Because let me tell you something. Mike Lane, we called him Pops. He was 62 years old. He was my first captain. And that dude would call me on a Saturday. Hey, kid, what are you doing? And I'd say, nothing. And he goes, well, come to the fire station. Let me train you. I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? Well, hell yeah, I drove up there, and he would drill me until I couldn't see straight, right? But it's because of him who I am today, because he gave me that start. And that's what I try to tell everybody. I've had a lot of rookies come through the firehouse. Man, some of them can't fold clothes. They don't know the difference between a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver, which I've heard that a million times, right?
Plus or minus.
Yeah. Right? And they don't know how to mop. They don't know how to cook. Nothing. So it's like, hey, we work 48.96. So day one, dude, we're gonna teach you like life skills. And then day two, we're gonna teach you how to be a fireman. Right? Because if I can't teach you to be a human being and I don't have a good human being, there's no way I'm going to teach you to be a good fireman. It's impossible, right? The winter storm in Texas, I mean, Justin will tell you, the winter storm in Texas proved to us that we truly are the jack of all trades. I got some of the most weirdest calls that I've ever gotten in my career because we've never experienced, 3-degree temperatures and we're 100 miles from the coast. You know what I mean? 3 degrees. Mm-hmm. Imagine if y'all in Florida got 3-degree temperatures. Imagine the calls y'all would make. I mean, so
everyone would die.
Everyone would die. But that's the thing. You got to build those relationships so you can overcome every obstacle that comes at you in the firehouse before you even talk about the scene. So, I mean, those relationships and that culture of positivity is what drives successful teams outside the firehouse.
It's a chain. It's all a chain. If you think about it, we started with Bassel talking about maintaining the standard with the new hires, not getting to pick and choose our family members like we don't get to pick and choose our new hires. We had Chief Johnson jump in and talk about creating relationships, building that environment where it's okay to mess up. It's okay to bring them along the ride. It's okay to build firemen. Every single one of them, every single person in your files is responsible for building a fireman. No different than the person that works at the Ford factory or the Ford plant or the GM plant. You may be one guy may be putting in the radio, the other guy may be putting in the seats, one guy's putting in exhaust systems all day. But if you meet them at a bar afterwards, you ask them, what do you do for a living? They're all building cars. That's what they'll tell you. I build cars for a living. We're building firemen. I teach them survival. You teach them RIT. You teach them mentorship. You teach them search. You teach them forcing doors. We're all building firemen. It's all our responsibilities. And if we build firemen, we're going to change the cultures. We're going to set the standard. And if then after we build and influence and put in time and investment, if we don't get a return on our investment because of their lack of desire, drive, or passion, despite our efforts, at that point, they're not meeting the standard. And it's okay to address that because there's different levels to this game. You can fool the spectators, but you can't fool the players. So if they don't meet the standard, get rid of them. There's that old story about the 17-inch plate. We've talked about it before. In Little League Baseball, if you can't throw a strike over a 17-inch plate, you can't pitch. In high school, if you can't throw a strike over a 17-inch plate, you can't pitch. College, you can't pitch. Major league, you stop throwing strikes, you can't pitch, you can't be on the team. That's a sport. We consistently widen the plate for these guys and girls. Oh, yeah, he can't force the door, so now it's 18 inches. Now it's 19 inches. Now it's 22 inches. And we're not playing a sport that deals with balls and strikes. We're dealing with a sport that's about life or death. And it's not cheesy. I'm not trying to be over the top, but it is. We fuck up, and it's on someone's worst day, and you got to live with that shit the rest of your life. So maintaining the standards is important. Building farmers is important, and it's all a chain, guys. And I'm jacked to have you guys on here.
Yeah, but even like you said, it's not cheesy. You say, oh, someone dies. Yeah, okay, that's a little extreme. Okay, let's talk about that because it could potentially happen. But let's just talk about if you do something stupid and you ruin someone's career. Now what do they do? You know what I mean? Blow their back out, blow their knee out, and they're done. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that hits home even harder because you see that way more than hopefully, knock on wood, that you see one of our brothers get killed.
Yep. Well, and I'll tell you, I mean, here's the thing, right? So, I mean, this might be a little dangerous saying it here, right? Because, well, the copycatters out there. But I'm telling you now, like, my next article and my next class is coming out here soon. I've already been writing it, and it's Mediocrity, the Pandemic of the Fire Service. All right?
Love it.
Yeah. I mean, mediocrity is bullshit. This good enough isn't good enough, right? I don't care if you can throw a ladder correctly one time. I don't care if you can pull a cross lay correctly 10 times, right? I want to know that when the shit hits the fan and I need you, especially me as a chief, when I need you to perform at your max, that you're going to perform confidently and competently 100% of the time, right? So nobody is sitting here saying that you have to be perfect, right? But the citizens in the community expect us to be perfect. So we have to train for that moment, right? We have to train for that moment that when it comes time to throw that ladder, pull that hose, force that door, whatever obstacle hits us, that we perform at a level that the citizens say like, oh my God. And that's what we need. And so that's what's coming out from me right there is this damn stigma of good enough is good enough. It isn't. I'm telling you now, it is not good enough. And I'll throw myself out here right here in front of the whole world. 3 weeks ago, I pulled a cross lay with a rookie, and I messed it up bad. Like, I messed it up bad. I hadn't pulled a cross lay in a long time, and I messed it up bad. So from here on out, until I get it right, I'm pulling a cross lay every single tour on the daily, me in full gear with the SCBA, pulling a cross lay to make sure I get it right. Because here's my train of thought. What if all of my other units are on a fire, and then I make a fire with one unit? Well, if they call for a backup line, who's going to pull it, me or the chauffeur? Well, I may have to pull it. So if I have to pull it, I got to do it right, and I got to do it fast. We've been talking about time all night. I got to do it.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
But see, here's the difference, though, Chief. You're the fireman's fireman. There's 90% of the other fire chiefs that are out there, battalion chiefs, they don't see it the way you see it. They see it that, hey, I got those fucking bugles. I'm good. You're fucking doing it. And that's the reality of it. And everyone on us said, I can speak for Greg. I'm not going to speak for Rob, but I guarantee you, everybody else, there's battalion chiefs there that are going to sit here and tell you that, oh, yeah, I could do that. But did they go out there and put their gear on and fucking do it with their crew? I promise you, it's going to be a no.
Right.
I promise you.
Yeah. See, and that's what frustrates me. Like, if there's any chiefs on here tonight, which I know we have a pretty good audience. I mean, if there's any chiefs on here tonight, please, I've only been a chief for 2 years, and let me tell you, like, it's okay to put on your gear. Like, at Pearland Fire Department, we have a culture. We're talking about cultures. We have a culture of that, man. Like our chiefs put on their gear. The other day, we had an opening for an officer spot. We had no officers. The assistant chief of administration put his gear on the pumper and rode the officer seat, right? Like when I make a fire, my assistant chief of operations comes to the fire and either he takes command or I take command, and one of us is getting geared up and we're going inside and we're running operations. I mean, this is what it is. If you're a chief, it is okay to put on your gear because at the end of the day, you're still a fireman. I don't give a shit about my rank. I don't care. When I retire right down the road, I want to be known as one thing. Hey, Jacob Johnson was a good fireman. That's it. I don't give a shit about my title. I don't care how long I was an officer. I don't care about anything other than just somebody in Pearland Fire Department can say that dude was a good fireman. That's it, man. And that's our whole job. That's our whole job. It's just being good firemen. That's it.
Can I interject here real quick?
Absolutely.
Chief, spot on. First of all, kudos to you for actually getting out there and pulling a line and being vulnerable and showing that, hey, you know what, you make mistakes too. Because I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of organizations where that would never happen. So the fact that you as a battalion chief are getting out there, putting your gear on, pulling lines, that's a big deal. But here's the deal: we lose credibility as senior men, as officers, whatever, when we stop holding ourselves to the same standards we hold our people. If we tell people that they need to be held to this standard and we don't hold ourselves to this standard, you will lose credibility so fast when you don't hold yourself to that standard. You want to lose credibility as an officer, that's it right there. Hold your people to a higher standard than you hold yourself. And the bottom line when it comes, to being an officer is if you want to inspire your people to do better, get out there and do it with them. Put your gear on, sweat, grind, do the shit with them. And you know what? When you fuck up, own it. Say, hey, bro, I fucked up. You know what though? We're gonna get better together. Clearly, I need to go back and brush off, knock the cobwebs down, get out there, pull hose, do whatever it is. Because here's the thing: we're not gonna be the best at everything all the time. That's just not reality. The reality is we got to get out there and show that we're vulnerable, to show that we're real, to show that we're willing to accept mistakes and say, you know what, I screwed up, but you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to keep screwing up. I'm going to own that. I'm going to get out there. And like you said earlier, you said you're going to pull a line every shift until you, for however long until you get it right. And, and show that you're, but what is that? That's commitment to the craft. And to sit there and say, hey, I'm an officer, I can't screw anything up. That's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. And when we elevate ourselves to that position in our minds where we think, oh, I'm the officer, so I don't have to do that, or I'm the officer, so you know what, I should have all the answers and be Mr. Everything. We're fooling ourselves. We're fooling ourselves if we think that we have to have all the answers. The bottom line is, I said it earlier, we're a team. And the bottom line is we've got to hold ourselves to that standard as the team standard, not our own personal standard of, oh, well, I'm the captain, so I get a free pass. No. No. If you're going to sit there and say, hey, dude, you got to do this, get out there and show them. Lead by example. Show them what you mean, what you mean, what you want, right? Show them the exact, replicate the behavior you want to see.
That's right.
And if we don't do that, like we're fooling ourselves, we're failing. And the bottom line is when we screw up, it's okay, man. Like you don't have to be sitting there, don't take yourself so seriously, right? Say, hey, you know what? I screwed up. Let's go back out and do it again. Because when you go out there and you show them that you're willing to correct your screw-ups, that's showing them, number one, that you're invested in them and in the job. And number two, it's okay when you make mistakes as long as you own it and fix it.
Yep.
Amen.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I wish, like, if everybody's on here tonight, right, y'all are all officers or senior men, like, take your AARs, right, your after action reviews, and sit here. So here's something that I do, and it's like, I know I'm putting it out there, right? Like it's not completely with what we're expected, but what we're expected to do is type out an AAR. I think that typing out an AAR is junk. So what I do personally is I take the recording of the fire and I go to each firehouse in my territory, right? In my city. Well, I'm the only battalion chief. So I go through every firehouse in the city. I said, hey, we're going to listen to this. Here's what I saw. Here's what I was thinking. You, Mr. Lieutenant, please tell me what you were thinking. You, Mr. Captain, please tell me what you were thinking and what you saw. And I turn it into a PowerPoint and I turn it into a learning experience, because here's the deal, right? Like, I'm 36 years old. I shouldn't be a chief. I'm saying that right now in front of everybody. I'm too young to be a chief. I was given a lot of fortunate opportunities. I took those opportunities and I've tried everything I can to learn. I should not be on this panel tonight. I shouldn't be. You all have the same or more experience than me, right? So I'm taking this and I'm learning from it. I'm taking notes and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, hey, how can I improve my shift based on this conversation? And that's how you should take AARs. Take that recording, and when you hear something on the radio, pause it and say, here's what I was thinking as a chief. Okay, what were you thinking as a company officer? And get that conversation going so that way you learn more about each other. And that's how I built trust in my officers.